Joining me now is good friend of the show, great friend of Rebel News, Rick Igercich of Canada's National Firearms Association. And there's a lot to talk about in the realm of gun rights and gun legislation and the federal government's gun grab. We're Perhaps we'll see the Liberals try to do something on that over the coming weeks and months. So, Rick, I saw you at Rebel News Live over the weekend, and I thought, you know what? It's been a while since we had Rick on the show. A lot of things are happening. So, Rick, thanks for agreeing to this interview. First of all, because I'm Albertan, and Alberta really seems to be leading the way on this issue, Alberta and Saskatchewan. I should give my friends in our province to the east, when they're like Alberta with rats in Saskatchewan. They've really been leading the way on this issue. And now our Premier, Danielle Smith, has entrenched gun rights in our Alberta Bill of Rights, or she will be, in two separate ways. One, through changes to recognition of property rights, and another specifically by recognizing Alberta's firearms owning community through adding firearms rights to our Bill of Rights. Tell me, what's the buzz around the NFA on that issue?
Well, thanks for having me on your show, Sheila. Yeah, it was nice talking to you and spending some time with you at the Rebel News Live. With the Alberta gun rights, and right now we're well entrenched in this. We've been working with a group called the Black Hats, and the Black Hats has been. They came to the surface a couple months ago. They were a group of people that wanted to rewrite the Alberta Constitution and get more provincial control over things in Alberta. And they've been reaching out, and what they've been doing lately is trying to get people to come to the AGM in Alberta. With Danielle Smith, there's been some rumblings that there's another group trying to basically dethrone Danielle, and the Black Hats have been reaching out to people. And last I heard, it's going to be the biggest AGM in Canadian history. They have 5,600 people are signed up for it already. So, yeah, and basically it's all about putting firearms laws and back into the hands of the province instead of the federal government. And Alberta is definitely leading the way. They definitely want to loosen things up there because everybody knows the laws we have right now are ridiculous. And this new Alberta, I guess rewritten Alberta Constitution is gonna do that. And Danielle Smith is sticking to her guns. She actually did a great presentation at Rebel Live, and she actually talked about firearms, which I haven't seen any other premier across Canada mention firearms in any of their statements. So that was great to hear.
The 1960 Bill of Rights, I think, was the first stab at trying to codify the rights that government recognized were important and in principle should not violate when they pass laws. And that was followed up by Lougheed's 1972 Bill of Rights. And then the Charter of Rights and Freedoms came in 82. But what was interesting to me is Section 26 in the Charter. And it says, even though we've listed a bunch of these rights here, there's other rights that exist. And just because they're not here doesn't mean that they're not protected as well. However, the court has acted as if those rights don't exist because they're not enumerated. And I was a property rights advocate going back to when I was an intern at the Fraser Institute. My first job back in Alberta was at the Canadian Property Rights Research Institute. And one thing that they have in the American Bill of Rights is that no property shall be taken for public use without just compensation. Ours says can't be taken without due process of the law, which basically means as long as you passed a law, you can do it. And I just didn't think that offered enough protection. So I have always wanted to change our Alberta rights or even our charter to add that clause about protection of property and just compensation, because when these kinds of cases have gone before the courts, they've said, well, That doesn't exist in the Charter. Therefore, economic rights are not important to politicians. Therefore, we're not going to enforce whatever challenge it would be, whether it's challenging gun laws or whether it's challenging the Canadian Wheat Board or any of the other number of challenges that happened over the years. So I'm hoping to start a conversation on that. So we're going to put protection in there for the ownership and use of firearms. We're going to put protection in there for just compensation in the event government takes your property or regulates its use away. We're going to put protection in there for expression so that we can hopefully challenge some of this cancel culture. And we'll also put protection in there for medical choices. You have the right to decide if you want to take a vaccine or not. You have a right to decide if you want a medical procedure or not.
And like I say, when we were there, we were getting all kinds of responses from not even gun people, but just people, freedom-loving people were speaking to us, and we were telling them what we do, and we were actually getting memberships from non-gun people because of our freedom approach to stuff. So it was great, and what's happening in Alberta, I hope that the AGM goes well, because it's going to be a starting point for the rest of the provinces to follow along, because if they can establish that, I'm hoping that the other provinces jump aboard, and we get some provincial control over firearms. It's a federal thing, but I don't know how it's going to work out in the end. But the fact that they want to, we'll see what happens. We can only hope. Well, we can only hope for an election to make it happen to the end.
Yeah, so Smith has proposed the following changes to the Alberta Bill of Rights. The first one is, of course, to make one's own choices over vaccinations and medical decisions. But the next two really do touch on property rights and firearms rights. And the text of it reads, the right to not be deprived of one's property without due legal process and just compensation, and the right to legally acquire, keep, and safely use firearms. And this has been something that the United Conservative Party has been working on since they started governing. Of course, we kicked out Justin Trudeau's chief firearms officer and appointed our own, something that Saskatchewan has also done. Danielle Smith has said that she will not direct Alberta RCMP to use scarce policing resources to hassle the law-abiding when we've got a plague of crime happening in our progressive-run cities. And this is just more of their mandate to protect the property rights of normal people from government overreach. You said that you're getting people who are not gun owners who want to join the NFA, and it really is a property rights issue. This is if the government, the federal government, woke up one day and said, that car that has never harmed anybody sitting in your driveway, it's black and it looks cool, so you can't have it anymore. That's what happens to gun owners in Canada constantly.
Yes.
Especially with Justin Trudeau's ordering council.
And it goes to more of an extreme in some provinces than others. I know Quebec right now is it's crazy with their gun laws. And, even I've been hearing, the delays in getting your PALs and stuff. Ontario isn't much better.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Why? I don't know. Attrition? I don't know. Maybe. Letting the licenses expire. I can only speculate. I don't know, but it just seems, I don't know. They say, well, understaffing, but I don't believe that. I don't believe understaffing, because everything's done with a push of a button these days. It's not like you have to fill out long forms to do this stuff, and background checks are done every day anyway, so they know that stuff's coming in. They know the status of the person that's applying before it even starts. So I don't know. It just seems like they're just dragging their feet. On the other note, Alberta, Terry Bryant, amazing gal, gets stuff done quick. I know I work a lot with Terry. I talk to her once every week or every couple of weeks and discuss what's going on. And, Alberta's breaking trail and leading the way. And it just, I just hope the other provinces jump aboard, Ontario finally did jump aboard with not using provincial resources to seize and confiscate firearms, but that took a while. And then there's this mess we've got going on in BC right now.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.